What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com, Venture Sports Consulting. Welcome back, I should say. YouTube put me in a little bit of a timeout for about a week. I think it was 5 days officially. Six, well, technically it was 6 days because there was one day my account was under review. So the third day that I was not allowed to do videos or anything like that, I finally got a reason as to why. So a lot of you, or some of you, probably saw the rant video that I put up. It wasn't a free play or anything. It was just me ranting about what's going on in the world of sports right now. All this social justice and politics and everything. And look, I know some people reached out to me via email, decided to call me a bunch of names when they don't know anything about me. And if they did, they certainly wouldn't talk out of their ass, because I spoke out against mainly LeBron James, Jamil Hill. She's a. Anyways, it was a video ranting about a lot of that, and they decided that what I put up was harmful, abusive, threatening. I didn't threaten anybody. So it was a bunch of different things. And so I actually have gone back and forth with YouTube on a lot of this. And some of the things that I said was basically the opposite of what something like LeBron James has said. I said, if he's allowed to say this and it's allowed to be blasted all over YouTube, Jamil Hill can call white people the devil, even though she loves to take paychecks from them. She wants to also then call them out because she's part of the cause, And then, again, so it ended up being where what was supposed to be a full 7-day ban and be a strike against my account now is lifted. The strike has been removed because there was no, like, honestly, if they were going to give me that, then there's 10,000 accounts that would have to, the same thing would have to be done. ESPN being one of them. CBS Sports, Yahoo Sports, so many different outlets would have to, the same situation would have to happen. They're not going to do that because, again, I don't care if you're on the left, on the right, Democrat, Republican, whatever. Most people don't know what my political stance is, and that's because I don't talk about it because we do sports. And I'll be honest with you, there's no room in sports for politics, period. And I don't care who your politician is. I will openly say that I was a supporter and a voter, and even somebody that donated a hefty amount of money and even worked with the campaign in my local city for Barack Obama. Somebody that I got a lot of respect for him being who he was, the first African-American president, setting the stage for what our future could look like. I think it was incredible. I don't agree with everything that he did. I certainly don't disagree with everything that he did, and I have no regrets. Now, going into 2020, I've never been a fan of Trump, but I'll be glad to say that he'll have my vote this year because even if you want to call it the lesser of two evils, it's not even about having something against Joe Biden. I can't vote for a man that's got one foot in the grave. He looks like a lizard. His skin's all pulled back. He's on his way out. He doesn't know what day it is half the time, and I'm sorry. You at least have to have the mental capacity of a 7-year-old if you're going to be the leader of the free world. And all this, and here's the thing, I don't have a problem, and I'm going to keep saying this. YouTube, they wanted to strike me one time. I'm not going to let this go. I am all for an athlete who has a platform that's so big to speak out for what they believe in. But not if they're a blatant hypocrite who doesn't even know what they're talking about. Case in point, LeBron James. Now, a lot of this, we could talk about Kyrie Irving, but I don't think anybody cares what Kyrie Irving has to say. I would rather listen to Hitler talk about world peace than listen to Kyrie Irving talk about anything, because he's a fucking moron. But LeBron James comes out, it's Black Lives Matter this, it's that, And what's funny is that Isaac stands for the national anthem, doesn't wear a Black Lives Matter shirt as a black man in America, and gets asked by a white woman in a post-game interview, do you think Black Lives Matter? Or is that not the most just absurd question that's ever been asked? If anything, that's racist. And then, of course, with this whole Jacob Blake shooting, and I'm not going to say that I'm okay with it. I don't think the dude needed to get popped 7 times. Um, I will firmly say that the officer involved with George Floyd is a murderer. He deserves 2 to the back of the dome, no question. Even if George Floyd was a horrible human being, which I don't think that he was he's being praised as this hero and he's being praised as this saint when he was far from it. He oppressed his own people. He terrorized his own people. He pistol whipped a pregnant woman when he broke into her home. You don't praise people like that. He still didn't deserve what he got. And that cop is a piece of human shit, period. Now, this whole Jacob Blake thing, the second that it happened, you get one little video that comes out from somebody's cell phone, and LeBron's out there, this must stop, whatever, all this stuff. And LeBron's, speaking on behalf of the black community, saying, we're scared as black people in America. We're terrified of the cops. We're terrified of white people. Okay, LeBron, then I want you to move out of your all-white neighborhood because your neighborhood is 100% Caucasian. You get a little bit of money. You move around nothing but white people, but yet you're terrified of them. That seems a little bit counterintuitive there, doesn't it? And then also your private security are all former police officers that just so happen to be white. And now you want to talk about voting, talking about voices being heard. Well, why in 2016, if Trump was such a bad guy, because you were running your mouth then, why didn't you vote? Because you didn't. You didn't vote. There's only 20% of the NBA, and this is coaches and all, that are registered to vote, and only 11% actually voted in 2016. And out of that 11%, over 70% of that is made up of non-players, which is coaches, GMs, and owners. I don't want anybody that's not willing to take the time to vote. They shouldn't have an opinion. I don't want to hear it. You don't got to take the time to vote. Your opinion doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because if you really cared, you would take the time to vote, especially as an athlete. Somebody as famous as you are, it would be brought to you. You'd be able to do it in privacy. You wouldn't have to go anywhere. Literally, as you're taking a shit, you could vote. Period. So I don't want to hear it anymore. And lastly, I won't get on Jamil Hill, that race baiting bitch. But Kenny Smith, what he did, and I hate doing this because he's a fellow Tar Heel. He's a fellow Chapel Hill brethren. He walked the halls in Chapel Hills. He graced the court there. And in my house growing up, that man he was a god. We worship people like Kenny Smith. I've loved him my entire life. But him to go out there and wait for the camera to be on him and go, I just can't be here right now, yada, yada, yada. And you leave Ernie and you leave Barkley and Shaq there without giving them any heads up of what you're going to be doing. You did it for a viral moment. You're pathetic. You're disgusting. You didn't do it for social justice. You didn't do it to stand in solidarity. You didn't do it to make a change. You did it so you could have your viral moment, which is what all this bullshit's about. If somebody wants to ask me to Black Lives Matter, the sentiment, absolutely. Not only do I believe it, I stand for it, I live it every day. You're goddamn right, Black Lives Matter. That's not even a question. But do I support the organization Black Lives Matter? Absolutely not. I'm not going to support an organization that burns down their own communities. They talk about Black lives, being oppressed, being, that they can't do this, but yet then they burn down, stores and buildings which employ Black people in those communities. So now you just took away their livelihood. And if you go on Black Lives Matter website and you actually read what they're about, the 3 lesbians, which lesbians have nothing to do with it. I have nothing. I actually support gay marriage. Whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home, no problem with. I've got plenty of friends who live that lifestyle. No problem with it. I support you. Go for it. Love is love, is what I say. But at the same time, this whole BLM movement is really like trans movement. That's really what it is. That's what they want. They feel like they're oppressed because they want to have 7,000 different names for themselves, and we all have to call them that. And if we don't, or by mistake assume that a dude is a dude when he doesn't, when he thinks that he's a mermaid, we're transphobic, we're racist, and we're the problem. Whatever. It's a joke. Kenny Smith, you, sir, are a joke, and I no longer support you for what you did. You made Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley people that have paved the way for the NBA to be what it is. Wouldn't be what it is without those two gentlemen. Barkley, who has very openly said what needs to happen, he's not woke. He's real. You go woke, you go broke. Look at the NBA. It should be boycotted by the fans. Players are going to boycott themselves. We're going to have to find a solution to the racism. Well, as soon as they go into a meeting and the lawyers say, hey, man, if you want to boycott, NBA is behind you. They want to stand for whatever you guys want. They want you to know they're here for you. But by the way, per your contract, if you guys decide not to play, you guys don't get paid. Oh, okay, well, the racism's over. Let's go play. Bunch of hypocrites. You really want to boycott? Don't play no more. Anyway, sorry for the rant, but I had to get that off my chest. For the people that didn't get to see the video, at least you should know what I was ranting about. This could be my YouTube suicide here because I said that I don't support the BLM organization, the people that are burning cities down in this great country. So be it. I don't need YouTube, so I do this here as a free service to you guys. So if you disagree with me, fine. But if you come on my channel and you're racial in any way, you're out of here. So anyway, being that I haven't gotten to do a video, you can go back and watch my last free play video. I did a recap there. Going all the way from then till now, we have not had a losing day. We have not had a day where we did not turn profit. We have not had a day where we lost in MLB. We've released two MLB top plays this week. One was on the Dodgers, one was on the Braves. Both of them were easy winners. That keeps us still 100% unbeaten in MLB top plays this season. We actually had an MLB totals play that we won. We've still only lost one MLB totals play tonight because it is still Friday night. It's getting kind of late. We had 4 plays. We had one MLB totals play that we cashed on the Indians and the Brewers. We've got the Padres that was an underdog play that we've got tonight. They are winning 3-0 or 4-0 last time I looked. We did drop the Atlanta Braves in Game 2, and we still got one game ongoing involving the Yankees and the Orioles. So looks like at worst case it'll be a split. And if that happens, even with the underdog play, we will drop a little bit of juice, and that'll be our first day that we didn't turn a profit in basically a week since the last time you saw me. All of my clients know this because they get the plays and I do a recap in my email every day. If you want an actual game-by-game breakdown, you're welcome to email me, chase@chasewins.com, and myself or one of my staff members will email you back as quickly as possible, and we'll give you that since the last time I did a full recap. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here another 20 minutes doing it. Just know that every day since the last time you saw me, we have turned profit. We've won in the MLB. We've won some NHL. I think we've only released one NBA play. But that's because this whole boycott threw everything off, and I'm not pissing my money away until I figure out what these jokes of players want to actually do to earn the millions of dollars that they get. But let's get on a free play for Saturday. It is the first day of college football, or the first college football Saturday of the season. I am excited. I know all of you are too. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to have a college football play on Saturday, but it's possible. There's 2 games that I actually like. I'm not in love with the lines yet, but there's still a lot of questions involved, revolving around these games. So it's possible we could play them. By next week, we'll be full swing into football because, again, it's a very short, small slate of games that are actually happening this weekend. Come next weekend, we'll be rocking and rolling. So I have left the discounts up for college and pro football. These are $1,500 a piece seasons. I decided for this year I was going to make them $1,000 a piece. I've got them up for $500 each on the website, or you can get the combo pass for $9.99. That will end at the end of this weekend, as well as the All Access Pass, which is every sport, every play, NASCAR, everything, all premium daily top plays, games of the week, month, year, everything that gets released on my site for one full year is $4,000. I've got it 50% off until Sunday for $2,000. So don't miss out on any of that. If you have any questions, shoot me an email and I'll answer whatever I can for you. But we will have plenty of action this weekend. We've got the Kentucky Derby going on, so we might have some action in that. We've got Darlington coming up. Patrick will have a big card on that, NASCAR on Sunday. So make sure that you get linked up if you are not already. We'll get back into the swing of doing videos every day. I'm sorry that I have not been here, but hey, what can you do? I guess if you don't support uh, Joe Biden openly, or you disagree with uh, LeBron James, who assumes that he can just speak for the entire black community around the country, which I haven't met a single person. And listen, I grew up in a predominantly African American community. I mean, it was well over 75%. Only 5% of the population in my community growing up was white. Over 75% African American, 5% white, the rest was Hispanic. The high school that I went to was over 90% African American. So listen, I can pick up my phone and every single person that I've talked to, and truth be told, on a day to day basis, I have more contact with friends, people that I consider family, business partners, everything that are people of color. And not a single person agrees with LeBron James. They're all disgusted by what he's doing. And so I think that speaks volume. So I don't know where he thought he could be the spokesperson. I mean, it's even come out that players just don't respect him anymore because he thinks that he's above them. So LeBron James, I had a lot of respect for you. I mean, a lot. I hate the fact that people compare you to Michael because you're not dog shit in his backyard, but I always said, and you can go back and find this on video, where I said, he's never in the news. He doesn't have baby mama drama. He's not out running around with his wife. He takes care of his kids. He's a role model. He really was. Now, I think he's a scumbag, truth be told. Sorry, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch my videos anymore. It's not going to make me sleep any differently. But let's get on a free play. I'm not in love with a lot of these MLB lines on Saturday. I think a lot of them are way too steep, and a lot of them just don't make any sense. So I project a lot of line movement overnight, some things kind of settling into place. Because if they don't, there's just no value on lines. I'm not saying there's not value in games, but the line itself is not presenting any value. Now, there is one that I like, and that's involving the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. Now, it was a so-so doubleheader series that they had on Friday against the Tigers. But what I like is the fact that Kenta Maeda is going up for the Minnesota Twins, and over his last couple of starts, he's been less than thrilling. Not what we got used to seeing this year out of him. And then Skubal's going in lefty for Detroit. Nothing special, but he has actually been one of the brighter spots in that Detroit rotation. Problem is, Minnesota has been hitting lefties well all season. And if you go and look at their trajectory of what they've done against left-handed hitters, every single time they have started against a lefty, they've gotten just a little bit better each time. Nelson Cruz is hitting the cover off the ball, still one of the best hitters in the game. Statistically, still one of the top 2 hitters in the game. Donaldson's back. I think he went yard his first time at bat since coming back with the Twins. So they've got they've got a core 3 that are just so dominant. I just don't see how Detroit's going to keep up with this, because I think Minnesota, and the reason that I didn't take Minnesota in either of the games on Friday is not because I didn't like them, because truth be told, the numbers actually added up. Minnesota's just not a good doubleheader team. When you're talking about a 7-inning doubleheader, it usually takes Minnesota 3 to 4 innings to really get settled into place. And when you have that, it's difficult to say, you know what, I want to rate this a premium play or a top play. So I didn't. I held off. I watched. Minnesota swung the bat well. But as you saw, going into the 4th and 5th inning is when they really settled into place. So I think that even though Maeda hasn't been what we know he can be the past couple of starts, he may start that game on Saturday like that. But give him a couple of innings. He'll figure out this Detroit rotation like he always does, and I think he'll silence them. And I think that because of these two 7-inning games, this puts both bullpens in a good situation. They're both going in with the strongest portions of their bullpen on Saturday. I mean, obviously, Detroit's going to have to probably go to theirs earlier. We don't know what Minnesota's going to do. I would imagine they're probably going to go looking towards their bullpen around the 6th or early 7th inning, which is fine, because that means that they can roll through the rest of the game with the most powerful portion of their bullpen. And because of that, I just think that they're going to give Detroit a really hard time on Saturday. And I think we're getting a lot of value at minus $1.20 on the run line. if Minnesota doesn't win this game by 4+ runs, I'd be very surprised. And again, I think it will be because Maeda just comes out and has a bad day. Because Detroit's swinging the bat right now. They are swinging for the hills. They're swinging at a lot of bad pitches, but they're not waiting on their pitch. Most of them don't know how. They're swinging, and it's gotten them good breaks. They are swinging at bad pitches. They're making contact with bad pitches. Hell, they've taken a few home runs that were god-awful pitches. But, hey, when you're a team that is that bad, what else can you do? Same thing's happening with Pittsburgh. Same thing's happening with Kansas City. It's swing, blindly swing and hope for the best. And Detroit has been sitting around that 500 level most of the season. More power to them. But I think that if Maeda can even come out and have just an above average game, that Minnesota's lineup will do the rest. And I think that they can really, really make this a long day for Detroit. So I'm going to gladly mark your pitchers because you definitely want Kenta Maeda on there, and if something were to change, we want to lay off the game. But take them on the run line -1.5 at -120. That's your free premium play. That is on the card. That is something that I've already bet. We'll wait and see what the lines do overnight before we decide the rest of the card for Saturday. And I think that is it. Oh, yeah, and for the people that sent me emails about my play that I sent out the other day, Tyler Glasnow, Garrett Cole on the mound. I took over in that game, and everybody says that I was the biggest idiot that has ever lived to take two of the top pitchers in the American League. One of the pitchers they consider the best pitcher in baseball, which I've preached for the last year. He's not even in the top 3, really doesn't even crack the top 5. And what did I say? I said it would go over. I was the dumbest person that's ever lived. And what did it do? It went over. So anyways, go back, 2 weeks ago, I said that I thought Clevenger would get moved to the West Coast and the Padres better pick him up. It'd be the best trade that anybody's ever done pitching-wise in the last couple of seasons, and they got him. I think that was one of the best trades I have seen in a long, long time. Clevenger is now home where he should have been with the Angels all along, who drafted him before the big trade. But I think him being under Terry Francona for as long as he was, I think actually benefited him. Now he's home. West Coast, he's the surfer boy of the MLB. He's home. He loves the trade. This is going to be good for him, and you mark my words. He will win a Cy Young with the San Diego Padres, and it won't be this year. But I really, truly believe that now, with what they've done with the bullpen, added another key, beautiful, beautiful starter in their pitching rotation. And, of course, having the second most powerful lineup in baseball right now with Tatis and Machado, it's a beautiful thing what they're doing in San Diego. I talked about it all offseason, and I could not be more happy for what they're doing. I think they've got a World Series coming in the next 3 years, and on their World Series year, you will see a Cy Young with Clevenger and the Padres. Mark it down. You heard it here. It will happen. All right, guys, take the Minnesota Twins. Sorry for the long video, and we'll get back to doing it every day now. Sorry for not being here, but, again, everything has to be PC nowadays. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support, all of my clients. We've been rocking and rolling every day, like hadn't skipped a beat, and we're going to continue to do it through the weekend. Make sure you jump on one of those deals, because if you miss out come this weekend, they're not coming back next week. The prices will go back up, and it will not be discounted for any reason. So make sure you jump on that, and I will see you back for a video and a free play on Sunday. Thanks, guys.